Hello guys, in this video we're going to be looking at the technicalities involved in biology. Okay, so this is specifically for people writing the 2024 waec examination. Now we have a lot of things to look out for. It is very important to know these little minor errors. It looks insignificant, but it's very significant because this is where your examiner is able to ascertain if you are really sure of what you're doing, if you know what you are doing. Okay, so we are going to start from the first one. The first one we'll be looking out for is the botanical and scientific names. Botanical and scientific names is very important. Now, when writing botanical and scientific name, you know that the names are being called out or written in genus and species form. Okay, so you have to write the genus name. You have to start it with a capital letter, and the species has to start with a small letter. This is what I mean. Let's pick one of our specimen for practical. Let's pick the onion bulb, for example. Now the onion bulb, this botanical name for onion bulb is Allium cepa. This is the botanical name for onion bulb. This is how it should be written. The genus name should start with the capital letter and the species name should start with a small letter and well underlined separately. Do not underline them all at once, okay? Underline them separately. This is the genus name or the general name, and this is the species. Okay? So this is how botanical and scientific names are written. It's very important. If you write it the wrong way, you'll be marked wrongly because you have not really satisfied the pattern of binomial nomenclature, because this is binomial nomenclature. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one I'll be talking about is avoid line breaks. Avoid line breaks and shading. So if you shade in biologic diagram before now, please stop it. Do not do it in waec and do not break your lines. Let's assume we want to draw a particular specimen. Let's take one of our specimens for 2024 waec, the femur bone. This is how it should be drawn. Okay, so there should be no line breakage. This is just because it's a marker. Now, you see how this diagram is neat? That's how your diagram should be. Okay, do not draw this way. This is very wrong. All these will fail you. All these will fail you. Okay? This is very wrong. Do not draw this way. Let your diagram be neat and let your pencil be very sharp. So that is it. To avoid line breakage and do not shade. Do not shade. You are not in a fine arts class. Okay? So they don't shade. They don't shade in biology. We do not shade. We draw our diagrams clearly with a sharp pencil. Okay, let's look at the next technicality. The next technicality is labeling. Now, labeling is very important in biology. We know that you cannot draw without labeling. Right? Labeling gives your drawing a meaning. Okay, let us take, we have already started with the femur bone. Let's take the femur bone for example again. Let's assume this is the femur bone. Okay, and you want to label. We know this is the trochanter, and this is the shaft, isn't it? Please make sure that when labeling, use a meter rule to draw your lines from the point you are labeling out so that the line will be straight and neat. When your diagrams are neat, your examiner is impressed. Okay, so the examiner will take time to mark your scripts. All right, so you draw it this way and you label, you draw this other way, you label. Now another important thing is that you write your title. Now this gives meaning to this diagram. If this title is not here, you have failed the drawing entirely. No matter how beautiful your drawing is, if your diagram is not present, you have failed it. Okay, I can assume if this is not here, I can assume this is a goat. I can assume this is a dog. Okay, so you have to name your diagram by giving it a title. All right, another thing, when labeling, do not cross lines. It is very wrong. Do not cross lines. Let's assume this is a trochanter here again. And this is the shaft, and you draw this way. This particular thing you have done here is very wrong. So when drawing, when labeling, do not let lines cross each other. This is very wrong. Let your drawings and labeling be neat. Let your lines be very neat and distinct. Okay, so that is that about the labeling. Okay, let's look at another one. Diagram size, another important technicality. The diagram size. Now it's important to know how to draw diagram size, especially when they give you a specific diagram to draw in theory. They may say draw a diagram 8 to 10 cm in length and 4 to 6 cm in breadth. Okay, so what you do, what this means is that your diagram should not be less than 8 cm and should not be more than 10 cm in length, and it should not be less than 4 cm and not be more than 6 cm in breadth. So what the trick I used for my students is that firstly you are going to measure 8 cm. Let's assume here is 8 cm. We're going to measure a line like this. We're going to measure or draw a line like this, 8 cm. Then you are going to also measure for 10 cm. Let's assume here is 10 cm. Here is also 10 cm. Okay, so from here to here is 2 cm difference. This is 2 cm difference. Okay, now you repeat the same thing for 4 cm. So you do 4 cm here, and you also do 6 cm here, 4 cm and 6 cm here. Now when you have done this, what you should know is that your diagram should not be less than this point. It should not be smaller than this. Okay, and it should not go as far as 10 as far as 11 cm. Okay, so whatever you draw should be in this sphere. Okay, that is how you should draw it. Now students don't know this part. They just go ahead to draw anything they want to draw. They just draw and they fail. Okay, so do not just draw anything you want to draw. Make sure you draw on this specific measurement you have been given. It is very important. Okay, all right, so let's look at the next one. The next technicality we'll look out for is spelling in different contexts. Spelling in different contexts. Now this is very important. Most people just write. They don't know that in biology, close words can mean different things. I'll give you an example. Let's look at this word, vertebrae. This word, some people may just use it anyhow. Anywhere you see, you write any one of them. It is very wrong. These are used in different contexts. Okay? This is the plural form of this. This is the singular bone of the vertebra. This is the plural form, vertebrae. Now, this is the column. When making a sentence like the vertebral column, that's when you have to use this one, vertebral column. Then we also have another one, vertebrate. These are members of this group, this category. These are all the members. You know, vertebrates are organisms that have backbone, right? Okay, so what you need to know here is that these are the members of all the organisms that have backbones are found in this category. So these words are very close, but they are different. Okay, they are very close, but they are different. So that's another thing. That's another technicality you need to look out for in biology exams. Okay, let's look at another one. Let's look at another one. Magnification. Magnification. Now, when drawing, this is basically for practicals, okay? For practicals. Now, when drawing in practicals, let me tell you something. The first one, you should know, the first most important thing is draw what you see. Draw what you see. Do not draw what you have an idea in your head of. Do not draw the idea you have in your head. Okay? Draw what you can see before you. Draw what you can see before you. What you are looking at is what you should draw. Okay? So if you are asked to draw the onion, draw the one you can see there. Do not draw the one in your textbook. Because there's a reason why they ask you to draw. That's what most students do not know. They can tell you to draw. Firstly, they can give you an instruction to remove 2 wings of a cockroach and 2 legs of the cockroach. And they ask you to draw a cockroach, the cockroach. When you are expected to draw the cockroach without the legs and without the wings. But because you have an idea of the full diagram of cockroach, you just go ahead and draw the full diagram of cockroach. You have failed it. That's why it's important to draw what you see. Okay? So that is that. Another one is, okay, let's go into the magnification now. It's basically for practical. When drawing, you have to measure magnification. Let's assume, okay, we have already started with the femur. Let's use the femur again. The femur bone as an example. So let's assume this is a rough sketch of the femur bone we are asked to draw. Firstly, the first thing you should do is what? You label the title. It's very important. Other labels. And then you are expected to put a magnification just by the side. Now, how do you calculate magnification? What you do is that you measure the bone that you are seeing, the specimen bone, the one you are seeing. You measure it, you get it, and you put it. Let's assume the measurement from here to here is 10 cm. So you put it aside. Then you draw. When you draw, you have to measure the one in your book too. So when you measure the one in your book, if it gives you 5 cm, what happens is that if it gives you 5 cm, what happens is that you should divide this number with this number to get your magnification. Okay, so if you divide 10 by 5 now, you would have 2. So your magnification here is times 2. That's how you get magnification. You measure on your book, you write it down, you measure your specimen, you write it down, and you calculate, you divide the two values to get your magnification. Is very important. Okay, if your magnification is also 10 in your book, if you measure and it's 10 in your book, all you need to do is to divide 10 by 10. You have what? 1, and your magnification here will be times 1. So that's how you calculate magnification in biology practical exams. Okay, so I hope this video is helpful. Please help me share this video to people that are writing waec and people that are studying biology tertiary institutions. It will really help them. Okay, so thank you very much, and I wish you good luck in your exams as you write. All right, so do not forget to like and comment. Ask your questions in the comment section. I'll be there to answer you. Okay, thank you very much, and see you in the next video.